Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever you might be in the world. But thank you for joining us again. This is our third week of Race Club webinars, and every Friday for the foreseeable future, as long as they keep us hunkered down and quarantined, we're going to feature Coley Stickels, head coach at Alabama. Coley's been down there for over a year now, and he's doing a great job down there. And Coley, it's always a pleasure to have you on. So
Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us again. And great to see you. Thanks for being on. We've got more people coming in, so we're going to maybe wait another minute or so before we bring in a special guest. And thanks to Coley, we have Olympic gold medalist Ryan Held, who's going to join us today to go over the TRX exercises. Ryan's up in Illinois, Springfield right now, down and built a little TRX gymnasium in his garage, and so Ryan's going to join us in just a second. Hopefully, all of you got the message. If you didn't, we were kind of hoping that you would have some similar device in your house ready to follow along, and you can work out as Coley directed. If you don't have a TRX, it's okay. You can follow along, and we're going to have a replay of this webisode. And we also have about a 20-minute webisode that's on lane 2 of on our website at theraceclub.com. It has really a very comprehensive series of TRX exercises that Coley did about a year and a half ago. So with that, Coley, I'm going to let you introduce Ryan, and hopefully, Ryan, you can join us here at some point and come on in the picture. Coley, take it away.
All right. So there he is. So Ryan's joining us from Illinois. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to go over some TRX exercises. Now, Ryan and I have worked together for a while, but we haven't done a lot of TRXs. He's done a few in the weight room and kind of on dry land, but I'll try to slow it down today and kind of go over the what's, whys, and how's of the nuances of what we're doing on the TRX. And we'll start out pretty basic, and then we'll go to some progressions. And so Ryan's kind of the perfect guest because, like I said, he's not used to a lot of these exercises. So this is kind of a demo of how we would probably do it if I were there right now, and just going to go for it. So Ryan, why don't we do so we'll do a variety of different exercises. We'll start out with some basic, a push-up. So why don't you go a couple push-ups before you get on the TRX, and then we'll do kind of a progression.
Okay. All right. So are we going to start off low because the TRXs are set pretty low? Are we going to start off high or?
No. How are they? About 6 inches off the ground?
About a foot.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay. So go ahead and, can you hear me okay over there, Ryan?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. Why don't we do 3 push-ups?
3?
Not on the TRX.
All right.
And then we'll go 3 push-ups, or actually we'll go 4 push-ups. Just bring your knee to chest slowly after each push-up.
All right.
So right now, all we're trying to do is we're going to start mimicking. We're not going to do a dynamic warm-up. We're not going to do static stretching. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to mimic movements that we're going to be doing on a more difficult scale on the TRX. All right, so now let's go ahead and get on the TRX, and we'll do 4 push-ups, just regular.
All right.
Okay, so nothing complex about that. We're just basically trying to warm up Ryan, get his core temperature up, make his muscles more elastic, And, the push-up is so great. I mean, it's very difficult on a TRX. He makes it look easy, but the next segment, Ryan, let's go same thing. And then when you lock out, knee to chest on each one. So same thing, push-up. Okay. And so pretty basic there. All we're trying to do is engage his core. We're just trying to warm him up. His triceps and his pecs and everything else are engaged. But I have to say that more than a strength exercise, this really strengthens the core. So now, Ryan, all we're going to do is a push-up, and then from that position, you're just going to come straight up. So you're pushing out of the push-up into basically a straight position. So you're just going 2 reps, and you're just going straight back, so you're standing up. So you're pushing away. You're holding on to the TRX, but you're pushing away.
All right, so we're
go down, and then you're pressing straight up. Yep, just like that, and then you'll fall back down.
Okay.
So again, for those of you that have been on the webinar and have followed these, we have done med ball circuits. We've done we've done exercises where the starting point would be off on the ball. Now we're going to go our starting point is pretty much in a push-up position on the TRX, and all we're trying to do here is go from kind of a static movement, which was the push-up itself, and now he's doing a more ballistic movement where he's going into the push-up position. So Ryan, do the same thing again. You're going to do a push-up. You'll go straight up into that position, and then you'll fall backwards and go into a tricep extension. So you're falling back, keep your elbows in, and then do a bicep curl.
Okay.
So just falling backwards out of that position. That's a row. Yep. Yeah, so
just a little too low.
Yeah, probably bring them up about 4 or 5 inches.
Okay.
So now they're going to be about 1.5 feet off the ground.
All right.
So push straight up, fall back, need to balance, and then you're going to go a bicep curl and then a tricep.
All right. Like that.
So on the tricep, yep, on the tricep, that brings you back into the push-up position.
Oh, okay. So it's like here.
Fall back.
Bicep.
And then a tricep. So on the tricep, you want to keep your elbows in and literally do a tricep push down. You're just going to fire the triceps all the way through it.
Okay, I think I'm doing like a skull crusher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bicep, tricep. Yep.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one of the things, we'll just take a break, Ryan. So one of the things you're going to see here are one of the things that we try to engage when we're doing TRXs or when we're doing med balls is, and this is kind of what Ido Portal and a lot of people like that do. We try to get movements to flow from one to the next. And I don't like a lot of disruption or counter movements are fine. I like every time we push, we try to do a pulling motion or something like that. And there's an endless amount of variety that you saw that we can do just from that movement. So Ryan could technically go from a push-up, fall back into a row. He could fall back into a single arm or a single leg pistol squat. Why don't we do that, Ryan? We'll go 3 reps, and all you're going to do this time is a push-up. You'll push back, do a squat, and then a row. So a double leg squat row, and then a single leg squat row, single leg squat, other leg row.
Okay. I'm still small. Is that a bit issue? I'm still like thumbnail size. Am I supposed to be on the big screen?
You are. You're having a software issue here. Sorry, Ryan. So for the presentation, we're trying to figure out why we can't make you live.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure that was we knew that or whatnot. Okay. So push up, fall back. Okay. So push up,
Fall back.
fall back.
You're gonna squat. Just do a regular squat.
That
In a row.
yeah. Row.
Yep. And now same thing, one leg.
Okay.
Perfect. That's it. Perfect. Again, those movements flow. And then you can go to really any type of movement from there. So if I wanted Ryan to go out of that push-up position and fall back, he could go into a bicep curl, into a tricep extension, into a pistol squat, into a row, and then we can go on forever there. And so that's one of the things we try to do. And as I I haven't done TRX with Ryan or with my group for a long time. But one of the things that I try to do when I'm doing it is come up with a new exercise, come up with something that's going to challenge them, that's functional. Everybody always asks me, what are these swimming specific? And I would say they're the most swimming specific because they're full body compound movements versus single isolated, joint movements. All right, Ryan, let's go from a push-up position again, and then we'll go. We'll do the combo. So we'll just go a push-up, fall back, and then we'll go a row with kick right, kick left, and then whatever foot you're on, we'll go pistol squat, row.
Okay. All right. So push up, kick back.
Yep. Row with kick.
Oh wait, yeah, sorry.
Row with kick. Row with kick, and then a pistol squat from there.
Oh, pistol squat from there.
Yep. So just drop down. And again, I want his glutes dropped right into his ankle, and then a row. And then the row throws you back into the push-up position, the starting position. Yep. And so repeat, same thing.
Row.
Yep. Pistol. Yep. That's it.
Okay.
And so one of the things we like to do here is just, again, a lot of this is just to get feel and flow for the TRX because these movements are, as you can see, they're becoming progressively more difficult. He's having to engage a lot more core. He's having to engage legs, and this is kind of the warm-up. And so basically the possibilities are endless from this position. Now, Ryan, are those suspended from a pull-up bar?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things we'll do now is we'll go from a push-up, and then we'll kick the feet out, then we'll go to a row, and then we'll go to a muscle-up, and then we'll drop the handles and do a pull-up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just do two full reps of those.
Okay. So push up, row. Let me kind of deal with it.
Yep. There it is. Yep. Okay. So one of the things I'm going to have Ryan do on the next kind of series of that is when he does the push-up, I want him to kick the legs forward as fast as he can to get into the row rather than falling back. I'm going to have him kick the legs forward so he's flat on the ground right underneath the pull-up bar. And then from that position, he's going to go from the muscle up into the pull up. So you're right underneath.
Yeah. Yeah.
The great thing, and I mentioned this last time about, before you go, Ryan, the great thing I mentioned last time about the TRX is it's self-sufficient. You can spot yourself, you can cheat, you can compromise your position based on where the handles are in relation to the ground and where the cords are in relation to where it's suspended on. So you've got a lot of different, you've got some play, you've got some give in the TRX to make it as hard or as easy as you want it. Like the example I gave last time, I was doing a couple of years ago, I was doing some difficult movements myself in my garage in LA. My 70-plus-year-old mom was visiting me. She'd never even seen a TRX. And I had her get on there and do some movements, and she was able to do it right out of the gate without having a spot, without having a partner, without ever having done it before. So this thing is it's a cheap, really, really effective way to get a full body movement, very swimming specific. So let's try the push up into row, into muscle up, into pull up.
All right.
Yep. And so do one more, and you don't need to do the push up after the muscle up.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to iron these a little bit.
Yep. 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 And there's a lot going on there. And he's moving quickly, and that's kind of the way we want it. Now, there's a good question. Would a door frame pull-up bar be wide enough for most of the TRX moves? I guess I was thinking about that before we came on, kind of playing with it with my in my doors. I think so. I think, to be perfectly honest, I think the door frame allows for even better technique because it forces you not to flare your elbows, and you have to stay contained, and you have to keep your elbows in. So yes, in answer, William Hanson, I think that it would be a doorway. Ryan, let's go. We'll go push and then pistol squat, and then I want you to jump on the second pistol squat, basically back into the push-up position. So it's 2 pistol squats. It's 1 easy, and then 1 fast, and you'll jump right back. The jump is going to be right back into the push-up position, and then switch feet.
All right. So it was push-up to start off, though.
Yeah, just a push-up. And we'll fall back, pistol squat, 1, and then jump, and then same switch feet. And one of the things he's doing is he's using his arm and his leg at the same time to throw himself back into that position. And that position is one of the hardest to get in because you have to completely stabilize your whole body. And what I love about it is if you're a little off balance or your arm's a little shaky, you're going to see him wobble kind of outside of the. Are those wood? What's next to you, Ryan?
Just like lumber wood. And,
yeah.
2x4.
Yeah. So it's a 2x4. And are you? I can't tell. Are you in that?
Yeah, I'm within them. I'm kind of at an angle, actually. I'm not like flush to the camera.
So yeah, again, in answer to that question, I think that would be the equivalent of like a door, right?
Door frame.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. So I think if you have a pull-up bar, mounted in your door frame, or I like suspending them from the ceiling or in the garage or from a beam. I suspended mine today. I was walking around outside. I suspended mine from just a giant wooden beam on my front porch. You can pretty much do them anywhere, and you can't necessarily do all these exercises, but you can you can get pretty close and you can get pretty creative. So, all right, Ryan, let's try some single arm movements. We'll go. So what we're going to do, we'll start out in a regular push-up position, and then we'll drop down into the archer, it's called. So do a push-up, you'll drop one arm, and then you'll push up out of it.
All right. Let me lower these a bit.
Yeah, I would go probably about a foot off the ground.
All right. So might be a little bit more than what? Actually, that might be pretty close to a foot. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect.
So are we starting off on the ground?
Yes, just do a push-up first, and then you'll drop. You'll disregard one of the handles.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay.
then go into a push-up.
All right. So push up.
Drop one, push up, and then hold. Okay, and then switch hands. And then hold. Okay, so that's a very difficult movement. Now, if you want to progress to a more difficult movement, and I don't recommend this right now, and Ryan doesn't have to do it, but you'd put like a very light dumbbell there. So he would do the push up, he would land on a dumbbell, and then he would push out of it and do a row with the dumbbell. And so we won't put him through that today, but I just I wanted to maybe go through that one more time, Ryan, just to.
Okay.
And if it's too easy, way to do it. There's kind of a million different ways to go through this, but just maybe one more demo. So this time let's go. We'll drop into a push-up position, and then when you get out of it, hold, and then go into pistol squat.
Okay.
Just fall right through. So you're isolated in a single hold, then just kick one leg forward and go to a pistol squat. Single arm.
Oh, jeez.
Drop. Yep. That's it. Good.
Wait, opposite leg, opposite hand.
Yep. Okay. So the one thing Ryan did there that was a little awkward is he stepped back, and you don't really need to step back. And if you don't step back there, it's much, much more difficult. I lost. Can you see me?
Sorry,
Ryan?
I lost picture too.
I lost the picture. Yeah. We'll just hold off for a sec and see if we
All right.
get the picture back.
Answer any questions in the chat or something?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get some questions.
All right.
Here. Let's see.
I want to apologize to everyone for the technical difficulties. We have a technician that's way smarter than me trying to figure this out. We think it's a software issue with Webinar Jam, so we're trying to do everything we can to bring these guys up in a large screen. It's just nothing seems to be working. Anyway, we'll keep working on it. I hope we'll get a picture back.
Typically rep schemes, I get asked this a lot. I'll just keep kind of continuing if you guys can hear me. Rep schemes, we only do what we're doing right now with Ryan is the rep scheme, and then we move on. So we try to do progressions. We keep adding to it. Maybe I'll add a med ball. Maybe I'll add a different dynamic movement, but we try to keep adding. We keep adding to the movement.
Huh. Coley, you just flashed up on my screen for like a split second. So I don't know if the whatever the people working the IT stuff are doing, but For a split second, you appeared on my screen.
We're getting some comments that people are now seeing, all four of us. So I'm not yet. I don't know, Coley, can you see?
I can't. No.
I can't see anybody.
Yeah, I'm not. Some people are, so maybe we're going to get some luck here in a second. Let's hold on here. Hopefully we'll. And this is all beyond our control, folks, and I'm really sorry for this one.
Well, if people can see Ryan, we can keep moving.
Okay. Yeah.
So why don't we get back on, and then we'll go. We'll go single arm. Let's go single arm row. So start out with both, and then drop the single arm, and then after you do that, stand up into a single arm pull up. So on the single arm pull up, you're going to assist that with your opposite arm. So you'll grab the wrist.
All right.
Pull.
All right. All right. So row.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. What was after the single arm row?
So after the single arm row, you stand up. So it's a single arm row, but you stand up and then jump right into the single arm pull up.
Okay. No. Row. Single arm row.
I have no idea if you're doing it right. I can see Dr. Hall, but I can't see Ryan.
Whew. I can see both you two now, but I can't see myself.
Okay.
Oh, so you can just hear my grunting?
Yes. Which means you're probably doing it right.
How far should they be off the ground?
They should be about an arm's length off the ground. If you were laying on your back, they should be an arm's length off the ground.
So we're like my hand? Okay, that's pretty close.
So probably 2 feet.
That's pretty close.
Okay. All right. So now one of the hardest things that I remember doing on these when I actually used to do them was a row and then just a single into a pistol squat. And you don't get much assistance. One of the things I like about that is, so Ryan, just go from a single arm row where you're gripped. So you're holding your wrist.
Yeah.
And then let it go and do one without the support of the wrist, and then do one into a pistol squat from there, and then into a single arm pull up.
Okay. So wait, repeat the whole complex again?
So it's assisted row, unassisted row, and then stand up, pistol squat, unassisted with the use of the arm into a single arm pull up.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Assisted, unassisted.
Pistol.
Whew. All right, so then opposite leg, opposite arm. Oh, jeez. Whew. All right. So now we'll do.
Get it right. Now one of the things I do is I'll start altering the grips. So now we'll do a pistol squat, and Ryan, you want to be about an arm's length away from the pull-up bar with your arm outstretched.
Yeah.
We'll do a pistol squat into a bicep curl. So a pistol squat, bicep curl, and then jump into single arm reverse grip pull-up.
Okay, got it.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, so pistol squat, curl, and then Was it both each leg or just one right after the other?
Just one right after the other.
All right. All right. How was it? If you can see me or you can't see me.
No, I can't. I'm hoping you're doing it right. But in any case, I'll take a question from Mark. Any suggestions for injury prevention? One of the things that we didn't do today, which I typically do, and because we're so limited in times, and because I want to do some Q&A, we typically start out, besides what you saw at the beginning, we do some pistol squats and we do some Ys, Ts, and Is for shoulder stability. We typically, and I like just warming up, getting core temperature up, getting blood flow, getting muscles elastic. We basically we warm up the whole body to try and mimic what we're doing to some degree on the TRX. So we're not going to spend a lot of time doing static movements or shoulder stuff specifically, but I try to incorporate the move before we start going all out on there. All right, Ryan, let's go. We'll do a single leg push-up, and then we'll go a single leg row with a kick, and then a single, you can only use one leg to get into a muscle up, and then a dip.
Okay. Sorry, just aspirate on some water. All right. Single arm push up, single leg push up.
Yep.
And then single leg
row.
Or no, yeah, dip. Was it single leg dip?
Yep. So single leg push up.
Single leg row, single leg muscle up, single leg dip.
Yep.
All right. I'll do it the other side this time. All right.
Makes sense?
Yeah, I got
it. Okay. And then a couple other ones that we're going to do. We'll try, we'll go in a row position, Ryan, just flat. So the length of the TRX is about, I don't know, arms off the ground.
All right.
So all you're going to do is do a regular row, and then you're going to row until you're doing a gymnastics pose where you're basically straight up in the air, if that makes sense.
Wait, I can see you. Can you explain gymnastics pose again? Oh, is that just like when they finish?
No, so you're basically just going to row, and then you're going to row until your feet go basically to the pull-up bar. You're going to go straight up in the air.
Okay. So I'm going to be upside down.
You're going to be upside down, yep.
Okay.
So you're just going to kick off the ground and try to stabilize your body until you're totally straight and your feet hit the pull-up bar.
And my handles are going to be somewhere around my chest?
Nope, your handles are going to be at your waist.
Oh, okay. All right. So, row.
And so one of the things,
I'm swinging back and forth. Is that okay?
Yeah, so try to minimize the amount of sway and swing, and then try to come down slowly, and then use one leg to kick yourself up into that position.
Okay. All right.
So the handles should be at least probably 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah, they're about 2 feet.
Okay.
So we use my right leg to kick up. Row. And how long do you hold it?
You hold it for basically like 3-1,000, and then you come down slow. And then and as you come down, you want to kick off one leg back up. So if you do 4 reps total,
Oh, okay. So it's like, okay. Got it.
And this is something you can do against a wall. If you have a pull-up bar that's mounted on the wall, you can kind of gauge your feet on the wall. One of the things I really like is basically when you're suspended in the air, I like you to do a little row. So hands are at your hips. One of the things you can do is do a row while you're suspended, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right. It sounds like you're doing them right.
Yeah. I hope the chat can see that I was doing it right.
Yeah. And so the other thing we can do is get on your back, Ryan, grab assisted again. So it's this.
Yeah.
And then all you're going to do is basically curl into a ball. So you're going to pull up out of that position as high as you can and then bring your knees basically to your chin. You're going to curl up into a ball and then release it and go flat.
Okay, so my back is like off the ground, right?
Your back is on the ground.
Okay.
And then you're going to pull yourself off. You're just going to pull yourself into the TRX here and bring
then curl up.
Yep, curl up into a ball and then try to come down slow.
Okay.
And try to do 2 reps on each side.
Okay.
And minimal sway.
So I'm laying flat. Oh, assisting. Okay, that's tough. All right, assisted. Pulling up. Look at these.
Yep.
Okay. Assisted with my right. Pulling.
Sounds like you're doing it right.
Pulling. This is tough. I'm glad I never do this in training.
Yeah, it isn't. Eric, you made a really good point. This is an interesting coaching experiment, not being able to see Ryan, but it is interesting because I can kind of hear him and I can kind of hear his feet slamming against the ground on certain exercises. And I actually want to hear his feet hit the ground softly and those kicks up softly. And so we'll try another a variation. We'll go, Ryan, use we'll put one foot in the TRX and then we'll go a push up and then a single leg lunge and then a single leg lunge with a jump.
Okay. Step out of the push up.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna lower him a little bit. Ooh. All right, whatever. All right, so 1 foot in. Regular push up, lunge, and then lunge with the jump.
Lunge with the jump. Be careful on the jump.
Lunge, then jump?
Lunge first, and then
lunge with jump.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, now I'll do my other side, my left side. All right. Push up, step forward with the lunge, down in the lunge, down the lunge, jump. Whew.
Let's see if I can get you on. See if I can see you on YouTube.
Do you want my dad to FaceTime?
If you go on YouTube, make sure you use a different device so we don't lose your ability to communicate with Ryan.
Okay.
So you might want to use a cell phone or something else.
I would say my dad's in the garage with me. He can FaceTime you, Coley, so you can still see me.
I've actually got it here. I'm on. There's a delay, but I can watch for the most part what's going on. Okay, so let's let's go. We'll get in a plank position, both feet in the stirrups.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of walk you through it.
Okay.
So I'm probably on about a 10 or 15 second delay. So just bear with me.
Okay.
And so Ryan's going to get his feet in the stirrups, and then we're going to start pretty basic here. We'll go, and forgive me, I'm watching another computer. So we'll start in a plank position.
And then low plank.
A low plank on the elbows.
Okay.
And then we'll basically go, we'll go knees. We'll go double knee to elbow. And then all we're going to do is crawl forward, still in a plank. And then all I want you to do, Ryan, is then go from the plank position into a push-up position and then crawl backwards in a plank. So crawl forward, army crawl.
Okay.
And then when you get to a certain point, you want to pop up into a position, into a push-up position, hold it, and then get back down into a plank and go back.
Okay. Oh, wait. Army crawl backwards in a plank, or?
Exactly. Yep. You want to go back to the army crawl.
Okay.
So try it one more time.
Then hold this, and then back in the plank, and army crawl backwards.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, take a break. Now, the next thing we'll do, he'll start in a plank again, and he'll army crawl the opposite direction until he's suspended completely upside down. And what he's going to do, if you're a beginner, well, if you're advanced, you would go completely upright, and then you'd touch your head and do a handstand push-up. Ryan, we're not probably at that point yet. So why don't we go backwards until you're at a comfortable position, and instead of going completely upright, keep your body at 90 degrees and do a handstand push-up. So your feet aren't all the way up. You're at 90 degrees with your body, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You'll feel your feet.
Okay, there we go. Jeez. Okay, start off in the plank, and then just
Crawl back.
Like way back. And now I just tap my head.
Get into a push-up position.
Okay.
And then tap your head on the ground.
Woo! I'm good.
I just a 10-second delay there. It's pretty unbelievable. But you get the point. Your feet were way too high suspended. You don't need to go back that far.
Okay.
Go back a little bit, and then when your body's at like 90 degrees, then do the head tap and then go back. You don't if you're way up in the air like that, probably not a good idea until you're able to do a handstand push-up.
Okay, so what's the difference between 90 degrees and straight up?
So basically, your feet are going straight up into the air in a handstand position, and we don't want that. All we want is for you to go back far enough where your body is literally at 90 degrees.
Okay.
So we'll try
Okay.
it again, but try a much. You don't have to go back so far.
Okay. Let me get one of my elbows here. All right, getting into plank, army crawling backwards to maybe there. Maybe I'm at 90 degrees. Okay. After the push-up, crawl back into army crawl.
Yep. And then you just. So you can go back a little bit farther. So try it again. So go back a little bit farther.
Okay.
But your feet don't need to be in the air necessarily. They're going to want to go up, but I don't want it completely vertical.
Okay. Whew. Maybe something like that.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. So yeah, you see how you did a little pike there to get to.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that we're trying to do there. Okay. And so we'll do another one, Ryan, where you're starting in a push-up position, and then you won't have to go back at all. You'll just pike. So you'll do a push-up, then a pike, and then a push-up, pike, head tap.
Push-up, pike, head tap.
Yep.
Okay.
And so the structure of the exercises is just it's progressions, right? I mean, all we've done is we basically started with basic push-ups, and now we're going to really advanced exercises that are, hard for an Olympic gold medalist to do. So that's the goal here is to engage the athlete. And again, I've had age groupers do these to perfection, and then anywhere in between. So try to stay piked on that second.
Okay.
We'll try it again. Come out a little bit, I guess, from towards the camera.
Okay. Got it. Whew.
Yep.
Okay.
That's good. Yep. So, and that's basically, we're trying to stabilize here, and we're not trying to get too out of control, but we do want to get to it. The goal with a lot of these exercises, it's basically, trying to challenge these athletes. And yeah, I would disagree with one of the commenters, Eugene. I don't think these are crazy movements at all. The age groupers that I've worked with have been able to do these. If you watch 9 and 10-year-old kids, they're able to do these and do much more extreme movements, and the adaptation occurs within a matter of weeks. So it may look a little crazy, but the reality is these movements are actually pretty simple after a few weeks. And like I said, I coached age group for about 20 years and used the TRX probably 2 to 3 times a week. And a lot of these exercises were done remarkably well in a very short period of time by age groupers. So again, I don't think in the time I've been working with athletes is we give them enough credit for the strength and the adaptation that occurs. And I would argue that if you watch a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old at gymnastics practice, they're truly remarkable in terms of what they can do in terms of ballistic speed, power, flexibility, strength, all of those things. So again, Ryan is even struggling, and we haven't done these in a long time, and I would consider him a very good athlete. And, I would say that after, I would say after a few weeks of this, he would be a master.
Yeah, I agree. When I first got to Coley, I couldn't hardly do any of the exercises just because I just didn't train that way. And then after working with him for a couple of weeks, progressions here, a little bit there, you get a little bit more stability on this exercise, get a little bit more strength. And I think just after a while, I think if I were to practice these TRX bands, I think I could be better. But that was, I think also part of that flaw was not having Coley being able to see me where I was going. But it wasn't that big of a fall. I'm okay.
Yeah, we're trying to gauge, and athletes will have to. We're basically trying to gauge. So Ryan, why don't you get back on? We'll do a few more basic movements. So we'll do basically you can do a push up with double knee to chest, and then do a push up with double knee to right elbow, and then push up double knee to left elbow, and we'll do that quickly times 2.
Okay. Feet are in the straps or arms in the straps?
Feet.
Yeah.
So it's 6 reps total. All he's going to do is a push up, and then bring both of his knees to his chest, and then he's going to do a push up, double knee to right elbow, and double knee to left elbow, times 2.
Okay.
That's good. And then Ryan will do a push up and then go 6 running mans, push up, 4 running mans, push up, 2 running mans.
All right.
Okay, good. And then we'll go from the same position. We'll crawl out into a plank position. And all you're going to do is basically go from this to push up to this to push up. You're just going to go 6 of those.
Okay.
Crawl out a little bit. And so you're using momentum to just go from
plank to high plank.
Plank to high plank. Yep. So one thing I really like about this is his core is stabilized. He's using his lats and his triceps to get up into a push-up position and then get back down, and he's sliding back and forth. This one is one of my favorite exercises, and it's pretty brutal. And notice how the intent of this whole segment that we just did was not to basically – I had no intention of doing anything with regards to heart rate or circuit training or anything like that, but I would argue that we got almost a VO2 max benefit out of this as his heart rate was flying the whole time. He's pouring sweat. And that really was just an added benefit of this, but it really wasn't the intent at all. The intent of a lot of these exercises was to work through progressions, to stabilize his core and to add some strength. And again, there's a lot we didn't do on this, but we can really amp it up with a med ball. We can amp it up if we had a little bench in the background. There's a lot more exercises you can do, add a little bit more ballistic component to it. But again, we've been doing this for almost an hour, and his heart rate was probably, what do you think, Ryan, on average for the duration?
It was pretty high. It was pretty high, especially when those those exercises where we had to hold the plank and crawl or hold something. It was pretty tough. It got pretty high up there. I don't know beats per minute, but it was pretty tough. It was pretty high.
Yeah. Marlon asked a question about using a ball as an alternative instead of a TRX. Yeah, if you have a med ball and a wall, or med ball and a partner, you can do some of these things to keep your body.
I got a med ball if we want.
Yeah, you can kind of move your feet up the wall. And let's see, do you have a wall there, Ryan? Yeah, don't worry about. You need a concrete wall. So basically, you're kind of your hands would be on the med ball, and you're walking yourself up and down the wall, or you're also stabilizing your feet on the wall and doing a push up, that type of thing. And then there's a million different exercises you can do with the med ball on the TRX, and those get progressively harder. So, a few questions. I would typically do this type of thing. Depending on where we're at in the season, we typically do it for about 45 minutes. And I don't really do TRX more than once or twice a week at the most. I try to make sure there's like 72 hours minimum in between TRX sessions. I used to do them in and of themselves, where it would just be TRX. It would be battle ropes or something like that. Or we do if they're suspended from pull-ups, we integrate pull-ups on there. There's a lot you can do on the TRX with regard to pull-ups. I do a lot of muscle ups into pull-ups, where we'll basically transition from the TRX into the pull-up bar. And so what I didn't show in this video is a lot of kind of ballistic movements, and those are advanced. And again, this can get increasingly more difficult, and there's really no end to it. And I see a lot of the YouTube videos and stuff like that online, and I think we're kind of just at the beginning in terms of what we can do with TRX.
Yeah. Should I answer this, Angus Corbeau? So the upper part of the wood is attached to the trusses of the attic above our garage, and then we just screwed in 2x4s to that, and then we anchored them down into the garage floor, and then just put like a metal pipe on top, and then we have just like a little metal, a little kicker or something to keep it down. But it's pretty blue collar pull-up bar. But that was a project my dad and I did for this video.
Well, Ryan and Coley, thank you. We're about out of time, and I just wanted to tell you that was an amazing sequence of really creative, comprehensive, dynamic, ballistic movements. And I'm so glad to see the comments come in about so many coaches or swimmers of young age groupers that are doing similar exercises. It can be done. And I'll speak to the other end because I'm a master swimmer, right? And, you have to start out slow. Don't try to get a lot of these exercises done overnight. You build up to them and start out with some of the simpler exercises, and then, go to the more complicated ones. Like anything else, practice makes perfect. And
yeah, I agree.
Requires skill and coordination and motions. But I think it's really great stuff. Billy, you're amazing. Are there any other burning questions that we have out there? Looks like you've got a lot of Tide fans on the call here, so that's good.
That's great.
Okay, well, and Ryan, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Next Thursday, we're going to continue on. I'm going to do a discussion on the velocity meter technology and how we use it to analyze swimmers. It should be very interesting. We're going to share some of the velocity meter studies we did with Amanda Kendall last year with Coley, and a young swimmer in Florida, Josh Zukowski. He's a sophomore. He's a rising superstar in the sport. And I'm going to show you how we use that to help really improve swim technique. There's a lot to it. Coley's seen it done, and we're big on that. So that'll be Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to have Coley back on. Next Friday, we're going to do boxing, which will be fun. We love boxing. Coley loves boxing. We love it at the Race Club. Been using it for a long time, and so you're going to see a whole new sequence of videos on different boxing exercises. Again, with lots of dynamic movements. So, Coley and Ryan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Keep it
Yeah,
going, and hopefully we'll get all out of quarantine here soon and get back into our normal life again. But in the meantime, Coley, we really appreciate your time and your expertise.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well done.
Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next Thursday. If you have any questions you want to answer in the meantime, don't forget you can go on the raceclub.com. You have to sign up in lane 1, which is free to do this, but you can go on our news feed and you can ask question to me or Devin Murphy, our coach, and we can direct any questions to Coley or Ryan and try to get them answered for you. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. See ya.
Bye-bye.